Hello and welcome to another EnsoVN Gaming video. This time we'll be doing the BLITZ Battle Straw Hat Pirates event. Basically there are 3 difficulties that you can try, and everyone in the community is ranked by how many times they beat each stage. Sanji being the easiest, Zoro being the medium difficulty, and Luffy being the most difficult. These islands will drop a lot of great stuff like cotton candy, socket books, and even universal skill books, as well as skill books for the limited rare recruits. But the main reason to run them is that if you get into the top rankings of these islands, you get free legend pulls. Now the legends are split up into 3 different banners, and you can only get the ultimate banner from being in the top 1000 of Luffy, but still free legends are free legends and most of them are pretty good. Now if you want, there's going to be 3 times when all the islands will have half stamina rates for about 3 hours, so you can save a lot of gems if you farm during those times, but as usual there are pretty crappy times for Europe. There's also a crap ton of rate boosted units that get 1.5 times to all their stats, as well as lowering their CDs by 10 whole turns. There's also a bunch of Chopperman missions, capping out at 50 runs, so I'd say there's plenty of reasons to beat this event even if you aren't going for the top rankings to get those legends. So onto the events themselves, all of them will have some form of paralysis and special rewind, as well as a lot of the enemies during the stages despairing your captains for 3 turns or more. So you want to ensure to at least bring some units to deal with that, or of course having a level 3 anti-despair socket on your teams. So with all that said, let's get started on the first 2 easier stages. So the first version of the Straw Hat BLITZ battle is Sanji. He's the most easiest one since he's only 25 stam, of course being around 13 stam if you're running it during half stamina. I'm going to be using a free-to-play striker team, which actually isn't a great plan because on the final stage he increases the chance of getting meat orbs, and I brought Nekomamushi, which is kind of silly. But you know, it's so easy that it doesn't even really matter. Plus I have the Aokiji bike, so it actually lowers the chance of getting meat orbs anyway. First 4 stages just stall out for your specials, and even then you don't really need any specials, like he has such little HP anyway. I used Shirahoshi to get rid of the paralysis mode, that's like the main thing, because his other effects aren't too bad. Everyone else is kind of just there. Enel is one of the rate boosted units, so he does a crap ton of damage since Sanji is strength. Alvida is there because she's a quick unit. Smoker also is a rate boosted unit, which is nice. So is Aokiji actually, which you can see why his special's already up, even though normally it's a 17 CD? It might be 16 actually. Either way. Also you have a crap ton of HP with this team, 70,000. So yeah, it's a cakewalk with this team even if you get too many meat orbs. Pretty much just the only special I need is the Shirahoshi one. This is the Fortnite Shirahoshi that I think was around like 2 weeks ago. Removes paralysis, despair, and bind, I think. As well as silence? Maybe silence. Also reduces damage taken for like a turn, which is mildly useful, but not too much of a big deal. I pretty much should have just gone now because Shirahoshi's up. I'm not going to use the Enel special, so I don't know why I'm like taking my time here. You can run into Robin here, or I can't remember who the other person is. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. These are so weak, you can just smash over them. They're pretty much just even Robin is like a mob. As long as you have level 3 anti-despair, this whole island's a joke. Like a lot of stuff wants to despair you, but as long as you have the socket, it's fine. Here onto Sanji, he only has 99,000 HP. Rewinds your special, paralyzes you. So I tried to use Shirahoshi and I forgot that the special rearm is there, so just try and kill these mobs while you're paralyzed. Yeah, can't kill the last one. Yeah, it doesn't do anything too bad as long as you don't get him below 20%, and even then it's not too bad. Yeah, and use Shirahoshi, and then just smash out all my specials. And use Alvida instead of Smoker for some reason. He does do 2,000 damage once he drops, like when he dies, so if you're kind of low that could be scary, but really it's not too big of a deal. So that's the first version. The second version is Zorro. This one is actually quite a bit harder than the first one. Again, you want to have an anti-despair, because I think, yeah, these ones will despair you, everyone on the other stage will despair you. This team isn't great. It's almost free to play pretty much. You can consider the Zoro free to play, but it's, you know, it costs very short points. He's in the shop right now if you want to get him. He rewinds his own special if his special gets rewinded, which is actually really good for all these stages, as well as lowering the CD of all specials by 2 turns as his special. Also removes despair, I think, which is also a nice little bonus. On the final stage, there's a bunch of mobs that have really high defense, So I should have, instead of bringing probably Raidley, bring someone that deals fixed damage. Like even free-to-play Sanji, like the story mode one probably would have done. They only have 5 HP, but they do lock the type they're weak against for 3 turns. So, and this team doesn't have anti-bind, so that can be a bit of a struggle. But I do have a lot of HP to play with. Like Zoro isn't really the problem, it's the mobs with this team anyway. As long as you get a decent amount of strength orbs, it's fine. Let's use the Kuma to slowly roll away this turtle. Also doesn't have level 5 auto heal, which kind of sucks. And on to stage 3. You can also run into Jinbei on stage 3 on all of the stages. He's not too bad, he just 2-turn CD. If you drop him below 50%, it makes it so he has resilience for 3 turns, so he can't die to normal attacks, as well as silencing your specials for 2 turns. But he doesn't hit too hard on any stage, so it's not too bad. As you can see, so many people just keep despairing you. Like, the lower CD is the best, so you don't have to keep watching that animation to waste so much of your time. Now to stage 4, there's 2 people you face. First one is Usopp. He preemptively despairs your captains for 3 turns again, and then blinds you for 5 turns, which makes him the more annoying one in my opinion, compared to Brook. Because I don't want to risk not being able to kill Zoro, so I'm just going to stall out the 5 turns of blind. I mean, if you're good, you can just like go onto Zoro and just ignore the blind, but I kind of want to play a bit safe. The Beppo obviously is to remove paralysis. He's a nice free-to-play paralysis remover. There's also a Donside paralysis remover. There's Timeskip Nami. There's also Invasion Shanks if you have him. Don't get this guy below 50%, otherwise he will paralyze your team for 2 turns. There's another shot. Fortunately, he only does 7,000 damage. That's wrong. Whatever. So he's dead. On to the other version of him, other version of stage 4, which is Brook. A lot easier, he just locks your chain for 5 turns. I guess you also have to wait 5 turns here, but this way I can just kill Brook first, since the mobs behind him have very long CDs for some reason. He gains damage threshold, I believe. I just read the translations of the gain width like through Google Translate, so that might not be 100% correct. They also didn't bother to like give an accurate number for his HP, because who cares really, it's so low, it doesn't really matter. And then we finally kill this cannon dude. And onto Zoro himself. He has 1.4 million HP roughly and hits every turn for 7,000 damage. Every 2 turns will give you bomb orbs, and if you drop him below 20% when he attacks, he drops your HP to 1. So here I use the Zoro to lower my CDs back. Raidley to give me a 1.75 times attack boost to everyone. You can just use Akainu, but obviously the Luffy won't be attack boosted. Nor will the Beppo or the Zoro. As you can see there, those dudes don't die because they have so much defense. But now I can just kill Zoro. I did like a lot of targeting here, which is annoying. I think I could have just killed them and then the chain would have been enough to like one-hit Zoro. Well, yeah, so I just kill Zoro first and then everyone should die because they only have 5 HP. Well, like 3 HP now, essentially the specials. So Zoro, he does 7,500 damage when he dies. And then this one guy will attack me, but since I have so much HP, it doesn't really matter. And then just kill this one dude. So that's the Zoro stage. This team wasn't great. You also noticed that on the Brook stage, I accidentally used the Alkaji bike. Whoops. And onto the Luffy stage, this is the team I'm using to beat that. It's considerably harder, especially since, you know, it's 50 stam, so it should be. It's a Gear 4 team. Ivankov is super useful to tank the hits, because he will do pretty much what Zoro did, just on steroids, as well as sealing your slots and upping his defense. And also there's a Dugong, so you're gonna have to stall that out for about 2 turns. Marco's there for safety, in case you take too many hits on stage 3 and 4. You can heal up and not die to Luffy. Kizaru is the main guy to have on the team. You can also just use regular Kizaru, but obviously Dex is really nice against the quick Luffy. The reason he's on the team is because Luffy will rewind all your specials for 2 turns, as well as rewinding it again by 1 turn every 2 turns. So if you don't bring a cooldown reducer, you just will never be able to use the specials. Robin is on the team for the ×2 attack boost to Dex and Sai units, so Ivankov doesn't get the boost, but it's not too bad. You can of course also use Koala if you have her instead. And once again, the main thing to have is anti-despair sockets. Auto heal also never hurts to have. Everyone on my team has max special except for Ivankov, but since there's a -10 CD for him since he is a rate boosted unit, it's not too big of a deal, he's not maxed out. So with all that said, let's get started. So once again, first 2 stages, just stall out your CDs. Make sure you use Xaro at every opportunity, including on turn 1, since his CD is -10 since he's rate boosted. It's really nice to use it every turn. You have to make sure that he is like 2 away from being like two away over max. What am I saying? Like 2 CD over being on stage 1 because of the rewind. Because if you can't use it, then you're just screwed on the last stage. You'll just never be able to use your specials. Marco obviously is the longest CD, but with CD sockets and just keep using Xaro over and over, he should be up by stage 4. Here the Green Giant will despair you, but luckily I have despair sockets, so it's fine. Also attacking you for about 7,000 damage. I should try to kill everyone, leaving the Elder Turtle alive, so I can stall a couple more turns. And use Xaro again, just to load the CDs, mostly just for Marco's benefit. Kill the Giant Woman. Douche, and then just take my sweet time on the Elder Turtle. Obviously trying to avoid getting quick orbs, at least onto stage 5, because that's the only orb that doesn't match for Gear 4's special. Getting some meat heals here was pretty nice, so I can heal up again. But since you have Marco, it's not too big of a deal if you take a couple hits here and there in the first couple stages. Now onto stage 3, it could either be mobs or it could be Jinbei. He has about 300,000 HP, hits every turn for 5,700 attack. I'm going to just drop him below 50% just to show you, I guess. It doesn't really matter, you get a couple more turns of stall. Since you have Marco, it's not too big a deal if you have to get hit twice. So here's his resiliency buff as well as silencing you for 2 turns. So you have to, luckily he doesn't do anything below 20%, so it's fine just to knock him down to 1 HP. And then we just wait out his special. I mean his resiliency. Another meat orb, which is nice. And then oh, we have to tank another hit, yeah. So yeah, maybe don't do what I did and drop below 50% HP. But if you have to, or you mess up, it's fine. Now we tank 1 more hit, and now he's dead. Don't know why I didn't attack with Xaro to get rid of that badly matching orb, but whatever. Now it's a Monster Chopper, the first version of stage 4. Again, despairs your captains for 3 turns. That's pretty much it. Just don't get him below 20% and you'll be fine. The dinosaurs have okay amount of HP, about 80,000 each, but that's not too bad to deal with. And Chopper himself has about 500,000. So yeah, just don't get him below 20% and it's fine. He does hit for quite a lot of damage, but again you have the Marco to heal up. Douche. Probably shouldn't hit Marco last, but you know, I think he had the matching orb anyway, so it's fine. Now I will use the Marco to fully heal, and then just kill Chopper. You can also use the Marco on the final stage if you don't take too much damage there, but really if you get to the final stage and you don't just die on the first stage, you're fine. Now onto Frankie is the other version of stage 4. He's probably the more annoying version. He boosts his own attack as well as giving you an attack buff for 1 turn. So if there weren't too many mobs that had a 1 turn CD, I'll just kill Frankie on turn 1. But since freaking 4 of them had a 1 turn CD, I was like, I'll just kill the mobs first. He doesn't do anything below 20% HP, which is fine. So just brawl them out with him for a bit. He does about, you see that like 12,000 damage or something? No, like 9,000 damage. When he has an attack buff. And he has one for freaking 5 turns. Okay, it was 11,000. Just use Marco here and then kill him and all's good. Douche only has, well, he has 800,000 HP, that's just quite a lot. But doesn't really stand a chance against Gear 4. Now to the final stage, time skip Luffy. He has about 2.7 million HP and attacks every turn for 7,500 attack. The Dugong has 50,000 HP and hits for a decent amount as well. First turn you really can't do anything except use Xaro. You have to make sure you use Xaro for the love of God. Then second turn you use Ivankov, and then you use Tank out for 2 turns to get rid of the paralysis and orb seal. The defense off is actually not too high, so you can just kill him while he has one turn of it up, which you have to do anyway because the turn after that he will rewind your specials again, like he does here. So just stall out one more turn, get rid of any quick calls you might have. And now it's their turn for bursting. So use one Gear 4 special just to kill the Dugong. Use the other one to deal some more damage to the Time Skip Luffy. And make sure you use the Robin. But now you just kill Luffy. Eventually, when I decide to attack. So Ivankov attacks first. And obviously you want to last hit with Kizaru since he's Dex, as well as being rate boosted. I mean stat boosted. So on death, he revives as well as doing 20,000 damage. But thankfully I'm Gear 4 and I have a defense reduction from my specials, so I don't die. He only has 55,000 HP here, so it's fine. Also revives his specials again. So just kill him and then kill the Dugong, so we only have 50 HP. And that is the island. It's actually pretty hard because of, you know, that revival damage, but thankfully I have a Gear 4 team, so it wasn't too bad for me. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can run as many of this island as you want to try and get those legends, or maybe just a cotton candy. Post other teams in the comments if you have any. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, my nakama!